Hi, I'm John Radcliffe, and today's topic is how to uncover your soul purpose in life. That's a topic that's super interesting and something that's really important to get to the bottom of because it can have implications for your happiness. It just filters through into every aspect of your life, your work life, your relationships, just a general feeling of well-being or anxiety and depression on the other side of the spectrum if you don't really do the work to go inside. And I find some analogies really useful here. That it can be helpful to think of it like things. There's kind of clues all through your life, things that you're super curious about. Perhaps you haven't made it your task to look and analyze what these little things are. They're kind of like a little hidden but in plain sight. It's kind of a Twilight Zone thing. It's a little weird, but it can be helpful to have someone to be a mirror to those things and observe you and ask the right questions to tease it out of you. Sometimes we don't understand that the way that we approach certain things is completely unique to us and something that it's kind of like our superpower, if you like. So you're trying to discover what are the things that are really high value to you. What are the things that put you in the flow state? What are some of the things where you're doing them and just time stands still, you just forget about everything else. You're just in a zone and just feel connected to everything and super motivated and just like nothing better than a flow state. If you've ever been in it, I can highly recommend it. For you, it might be a hobby like music. It could be singing or acting. It could be drawing, painting. They're kind of creative flow states. It might be writing. You might be fascinated with reading. It could be any number of things. History, interviewing, goodness knows. The end is endless. Could be working with plants. In my case, it was a life of preparation, really, for me, in that I was able to, with the help of somebody else, reflect back on me that my special gifts, spiritual gifts, my empathy as a master of number 11, connected to the spiritual realm, my high value of really wanting to contribute and help other people. This empathy is really valuable when you're helping other people, to really feel the other person, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what makes them tick. And this other subject, which has preoccupied I've been just totally preoccupied my whole life on understanding people, psychology, personality types, and numerology more recently. And those are just tools that I've found, star signs, that kind of thing. But numerology more recently has been something that I've found invaluable to just give me, as a life coach, pointers to look inside and understand kind of like from a framework to give me a little bit more insight, or the person, in fact, that I'm working with to see what it is, where we should look. Where can we start looking for these things that would uncover the person's purpose? And often it's just writing and asking the right questions. A book that I found interesting on this topic, The Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler. Very interesting, takes an approach where he pulls together your purpose, reverse engineering that, write a list of 25 things that you're curious about, being in specific detail, and then taking those things, writing another list of 15 things which are like huge goals, almost impossible goals, name of the book, that you could set yourself, as really stretch yourself, and therein, with those curiosities, creating a real purpose. When you filtered out, say, the top 5 of those 25 list of curiosity things that you're really super curious to solve and investigate and get to the bottom of, perhaps with an expert, a leader in that field, to solve that curiosity. So you link together 5 of them, and then try to see the synergy in those top 5 that you've selected that really appeal to you. And once you've done that, you're creating something that creates a really powerful purpose for you in your life. So I've just given an example in my own life. I pulled together 3 or more curiosities that I've had all my life, talents or curiosities, if you like it. I like to use that analogy. I like to also comment that the master number is master 11, like myself, master 22, the master builder, and master 33, the master teacher. We tend to have a longer process of uncovering our purpose because, well, like we're old souls, we've been here a few times before, and so it can be a little more of a later in life, particularly for number 11s. We tend to come into our full-blown purpose later in life, 35, 45, in my case, late 50s. And that's quite common, and I know other master number 22s that have come into their own later in life. Of course, I'm generalizing here, but it's just that we have very big missions on the planet where master 11s don't do small talk. We always thinking huge. We want to take a huge global change, global impact. We don't want to do something small. And that's great, but you have to accept that with that, it's going to happen later. It might happen later in life for you. Everyone's different, of course. In my case, it definitely was later. So I feel like I've done my dues as far as doing all the learning challenge, or how do you like, pain points, which are part of your spiritual mastery, your journey. Like it talks about the character Santiago in the book The Alchemist, where he had many challenges along his way for searching for the treasure in Egypt. And who would have known that he would go through such a windy path? Well, it's a bit like it's an analogy for everyone's life, how we go through many different trials. But I've learned to accept that these trials are kind of honing us, refining us, and actually pointing us to, where's the lesson in this? And if you ask the right question, where's the lesson in this challenge? No matter how painful the lesson. Usually the more painful the better, because you are forced to completely transform yourself and take the challenge head on. And well, that's been the case with me and all the people that I talk to that have been able to face these challenge points and really use it as a launch pad to get closer to your purpose-driven life. Because when you're on purpose, you're unstoppable.